This is Roger with Wheel Kinetics in Tucson, Arizona. We're selling this truck. It is a 2004 Ford F-350 crew cab. It's a 6.0 turbo diesel. It's four-wheel drive. It's an XLT, which means it's cloth. It only has 96,200 miles. It was a theft recovery purchased directly from an insurance company in Houston, Texas. It is on a salvage title due to theft. Please make sure that you watch the little 3-minute animated video on the subject. Basically, it's attorneys for the insurance company that don't want to be sued in the future. So giving it a salvage title before they sell it to me, before I sell it to you, is their way of getting out of any future liability. That's why they give it a salvage title. It has nothing to do with the vehicle. It has everything to do with lawsuits. Anyway, let me walk you around this thing. When we bring them in, we do about a 2-hour inspection where we do measurements, drive it, put it on the lift, take the wheels off, check it out thoroughly. It generates a report that looks like this, and then I got my little cheat sheets over here because, of course, I'm old school, so I got to have that. And let's see. Here's what we got. When we brought it in, we decided that we would do a bulletproof EGR. It's a huge thing to have a bulletproof EGR cooler. So we do that on some of the vehicles, especially the vehicles we really like. It adds a lot of value to the vehicle. People know that that's the weakness in these things. And we are very good at installing them. And a bulletproof is the best one. And that's why we do it. While we were there, we had to replace a bunch of parts that were stolen, probably while it was sitting in the insurance yard or in the police impound yard. The AC evaporative box was stolen. We had to replace intake gaskets that we did when we did the EGR cooler are new. The coolant reservoir and brand new coolant in the vehicle, they stole the whole reservoir. So it's got a brand new one of those. It got a new Rotella oil and filter. So it's got an oil change and filter. It got a new air filter. The serpentine belt is new. They stole the wire harness, the engine wire harness. So you got a brand new engine wire harness. That's a $500 part. Driver's seat belt. They stole that. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a tan one. They don't make them anymore. Brand new, so we had to buy a brand new gray one. So that's the only thing going on here that's kind of funky cosmetically. Most people wouldn't notice it, but we have to point out what's going on in these vehicles so that you don't get a surprise. Let's see, the cap on the tailgate is new. That was missing. It also needed 3 injectors. When we were running the test on it, the scanners indicated that 3 injectors weren't performing as good as the others, so we got 3 new injectors. Scratch there. My brother took this thing, he probably took between 50 and 70 HD pictures. You'll be able to click on those pictures and magnify so you can really zoom in on everything I'm showing you in detail. There should be no excuses for missing anything cosmetic. If you miss something cosmetic, it's because you're lazy, not because it wasn't there or viewable. Okay, so please take advantage of that. The goal here is to have the right person buy every one of our vehicles. When the wrong vehicle ends up in the wrong person's hands, it's generally the buyer's fault. There's plenty of information here. So please make sure that doesn't happen. And I'll bet you that hasn't happened in, gosh, a long time. A long time. I bet it's been well over a year since we really had somebody buy the wrong truck for them. Fire this thing up. We're going to look under the hood. We're going to be looking for Ford stamps where they belong. 96,151 miles. We'll be looking for Ford stamps where they belong on both fenders and on both sides of the core support. There's the Ford stamp there. There's a new battery on this side. There's the Ford stamp there. new serpentine belt. That's new coolant bottle, reservoir. There's a Ford stamp there. There's the Ford stamp there. It does have a new oil change, new oil filter, and new coolant with the coolant reservoir, obviously. A little bit of a rub mark right there. Seats look great. Passenger front window. Looks like it put on the paint or something. There's a little bit of stuff right there. These seats look great. Really, really good shape. Doesn't look like he had any passengers. Usually the outside bolster will break down on Ford trucks, especially on XLTs. And this one looks brand new. So, previous owner had no friends. All the seat controls work fine. Uneventful. Uneventful in my business is very good. We like uneventful. I do see in this tint right here, see the tint starting to peel right here? You might want to peel this tint off and re-tint it. It's got a little thing in it. We would have taken it off, but some people just don't care. They'd rather save the 30 bucks per window doing that. Okay, let's see, mirrors. Outside mirror, that's out, in, up, down. Other side, out, in, up, down. Forward, back, up, down, tilt up, tilt down, rear tilt up and down. See this? This is the, they steal seat belts all the time, and this is the only color we can find. So that's probably the funkiest part of this truck is right there. That is the only funky part of the truck is right there. Otherwise, it's fantastic. I would say we bought it just before they really started to part this thing out. They don't keep very good eye on them at those yards. After they recover them, parts just start disappearing as people walk through the yards. There's your tow haul on and off. There's your radio, old school cassette, CD. There's the air. There you go. Yes, and it works. It's cold. Okay. Let's see. You also have tilt and cruise. I already tried the tilt. That works fine. All right, let's go for a ride. Because it's on a salvage title, if you want to come to Tucson to drive it home, we have to take it to the level 3 inspection, which is the police here. We charge $200 to do that for you before you get here. It's mandatory. In order to get plates and insurance, you have to have a restored salvage title. Right now, it's a salvage title. One of our guys, Robbie, gets up about 6 in the morning, comes in here, picks this thing up about 7:30, takes it to level 3, so he's first in line at 8, and then the wait begins. Sometimes he's out of there by 9, and sometimes he's out of there by 6 o'clock in the afternoon. It really depends on their police stuff going on. If they have real police work to do, he could be sitting there all day. They used to let us leave it there, and we charge $50, but now they make us stay with the vehicle all day. So we could have a guy tied up all day. That's why we charge that. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not good. So anyway, that's the deal. This thing runs great. Very quiet. Really quiet. No vibrations. Anyhow, so it's $200 to restore the title. There's a $250 dock fee. And there's taxes. Taxes are 2% city sales tax in Tucson, plus whatever your state tax rate is. We have a guy coming down from Alaska right now to pick up a car. His state tax rate is 0. So he's paying 2% tax, which is just our city tax. He's paying $250 for dock fees, and he's paying $200 to restore the title. An Arizona resident, our state tax rate is 6.1. So if you're from Arizona, you're going to pay 8.1%. That's a state plus our city. So you're going to pay 8.1, and you're going to pay $250 dock fee and $200 to restore the title. If you pay by wire and ship, all you have to pay is the agreed upon price, and that's it. We strongly advise that you have us restore the title for you before it ships out. It's worth every penny. Unless you're positive you can get it done with the salvage title, the bill of sale, and the truck itself, please have us do it for you. We've only had 2 people ever have trouble doing it on their own, and both of them were in the state of Illinois, and they wanted receipts and all kinds of stuff. For the cops did in Illinois for what was replaced when there was nothing replaced. So we had no receipts. They didn't believe that the truck could be this nice, that as nice as it was. One was an Escalade, one was a truck, and you know, so we ended up making receipts that never happened because it was just a mess. So other states are not like that. Texas is pretty easy from what I understand. California is a little annoying and there's a long wait, but I think it can be done there. Just make sure you can get it done. If you want to say no to the $200 restore fee, that's fine. Just be sure, because once it ships out, it's going to cost you a lot of money to ship it back, and it's kind of a hassle. All right? Let's see, deposits. Get your deposit. Once we have a deposit, we have a deal. Until we have a deposit, it's for sale. Once we get your deposit, we'll put your name in a banner over the vehicle at wheelkinetics.com, and you'll know it's yours. Anyway, let's see. Last part, I say this about every vehicle that we sell, everything. From Dennis's little BMW here, you know, to this Sienna van, which actually just sold to the guy in Alaska, to any of these vehicles that we have. They're out of warranty, okay? They're out of warranty. The Ford guys who built the truck gave it a certain number of years and a certain number of miles for warranty. And when they did that because they don't know what's going to happen. If they don't know what's going to happen to the vehicle they built, there's very little chance that we know more than they know. Okay? So, it's past the miles, it's past the years, and we don't know more than the Ford designers. So there's risk involved in buying this vehicle, is what I'm saying. If you're risk averse, if you don't like risk, do not buy anything used, whether it's a toaster or Lazy Boy recliner, anything, okay? Because that would be a mistake if you're risk averse. So if you want to take on a little bit of a risk and buy a nice truck, this is a hell of a truck. If you don't want to do that, please stay away. All right? I always tell people, consider that you're probably going to have to spend some money at some point, sooner or later, on a repair. It could be next week, it could be 3 or 4 years from now, but it will happen eventually. This is not perfect science here. This is not going to run forever the way it is today. Okay? Anyway, that is all. I really like the truck. It's got a great ride, runs good, looks good. That's it.